Well, we're back. We had a little technical problem with our video stream. Seem to have gotten that fixed. And meanwhile, looks like Syracuse scored 1 with their last tone. Took quite a while for them to decide. After 2 ends of play, Hamilton College leads 4-1. They'll be playing the Blue Rocks and will have the hammer here in the second end. Update you with action around the sheets and the shed tonight. Full slate of 6 games going on. Villanova 2 leads Cornell 1-0 after 1 on sheet 1. On sheet 2, SUNY Poly 1 leads 4-0 over RPI 2 after 1 end of play. In our feature game here, Hamilton 1 leads Syracuse 4-1 after 2 ends of play. MIT 2 leads Villanova 1 on sheet 4, 1-0 after 1. Colgate 2 leads RIT 1 on sheet 5, 1-0 after 1. And Penn leads Harvard 2. Make that Harvard 1, excuse me, on sheet 6, 1-0 after 1. A lot of close games out there.
We're a third of the way through our semester. We're 3 weeks away from spring break.
We're in the third end of our feature game. Hamilton leading 4-1. They're playing the Blue Stones and have last rock here in the third end. Hamilton looking to throw a guard over shot stone. They've got one nicely positioned on the top 4 foot. Ryan Wall looking to spot a guard just over shot rock. It's curling in very nice. Need to get a little more finish to cover shot stone. Got it about half covered, but it is exposed. So now an opportunity for Syracuse. Looking to remove the guard. If you're a little wide here, you might catch shot rock. So you got a couple ways to make a nice shot here. There are already 5 rocks in play, so that guard can be removed. Threw this out just a bit, but it's nice lightweight, so it may come back here. Don't think it'll have enough weight to remove the shot stone from the rings. Looks like he's just going to nestle up to it a little bit and push it back just a smidge. Actually pushed it under a little more. Probably should have come up on the sweep on that and let it freeze so it couldn't be removed. Now, unfortunately, it's wide open and can just be taken out of play. So now Ryan Wall with an opportunity to hit and stick and sit 2. Got a nice release on that one. Good speed. Starting to curl now. They're going to get a piece. And they get the Yellowstone out of play. They lose their own in the process. They hit it so thin, but they're still shot and buried behind the guard. So a good miss by Ryan Wall, leaving Hamilton College sitting 1. And that is an absolutely gorgeous freeze. Nicely done by Luke Sanders. Sets up a potential score of 2 now. They can just hit that Yellowstone and remove the blue while not losing their Yellowstone that's frozen. So now Jay Carhart looking to freeze back in return, but this one is just wide. And it's going to be a little heavy. It's now a great opportunity for Syracuse. They have a chance to pop that Yellowstone, just thrown by Luke Sanders. And they're just electing the guard. I'm not sure what this gets them. They need to move shot rock here. This is a good chance to steal this end. And they're just going to stick another guard or freeze on top. And that actually messes up the angles a bit for Syracuse now. It's much less favorable than they had before. Now if they hit the top Yellowstone, both yellows may fly. And as predicted, all the yellows fly. Those angles were pretty bad. Syracuse is shot rock in the back four, but they're fully exposed. They'll need to try to guard that up now. Good shot by Jay Carhart to kind of clean up the mess there. Paul Mokotov with a guard attempt here, and again, really light. A good scrub by the team to get that over. That was almost 18 seconds hog to hog. It's a pretty good guard, but it does look like the stone is about a third exposed on the outturned side. You're not looking at it. There is a path. There is a path to shot stone. Just a hack waiter. Should be good to get that out of play. They did not look at that at all. And if you miss the shot and you peel the guard off, that doesn't hurt you at all. It keeps the deuce in play. Amy Glanzer just electing to draw around the center guard to set up a skip deuce that way, but the scoring area is pretty small, just inside the 4 foot. And the weight's not far off here, but just took too much ice for that come around. It's going to bury partway back 4. It looks like it's shot rock. I'd love to have that about 2 feet higher. Now Paul Mokotov with his last. He needs to come down to shot rock and sit on it. Take the end away from Hamilton. Syracuse team has a couple of experienced curlers. Paul Mokotov, a sophomore in aerospace engineering, has got 5 years of experience in curling. Luke Sanders has actually been around our club for a while. He's now at Syracuse. He's got 3 years of curling. He's a graduate student in math. Simon Wexler is another grad student, secondary math education. He's been curling for 1 year. And Jacob Kahane is a new curler as well. So a relatively new team. The nucleus of more experienced curlers. They got the club started this year, and they actually have an outside chance of, if they do well this weekend, of qualifying for the national championship tournament. That'll be held at the Broomstones Curling Club in Wayland, Mass. in March, second week of March. And Paul decided not to throw the freeze down the same path that Amy Glanzer went, but rather to come around the outside here. And again, this is just light again. And Paul hasn't found his draw weight tonight. That's just going to be not quite enough weight. Over curled and wrecked on the guard. So now a chance for a skip deuce for Amy Glanzer. She just has to throw this same draw. Can come right to her own as long as she doesn't move it. And grab a deuce here in the third end. And the draw attempt comes up light, but nevertheless a score of 1 for Hamilton College. They now lead 5-1 after 3. Syracuse will have the yellow rocks and the last rock advantage here in the fourth end. Taking around the sheets, we have some close ones going on. We're all tied up 1-1. Villanova 2 and Cornell on sheet 1 after 2 ends of play. In our feature game, Hamilton 1 here leads 5-1. SUNY Poly 1 on sheet 2 leads RPI 2 4-0. No update on that score yet. MIT 2 leads Villanova 1 2-1 after 2 ends on sheet 4. Colgate 2 and RIT 1 are all tied up 1-1 after 2. And Harvard 1 and Penn on sheet 6, they're all tied up 1-1 after 2 as well. And back to our feature game, Hamilton 1 leads Syracuse 5-1 after 3 ends of play. Syracuse needs to get busy down 4 with the last rock advantage here in this end. Nothing wrong with bringing this stone in the house with a 4-point lead. And let Syracuse figure out how to generate their deuce. It's only top 8. Not a huge scoring threat yet. If you want your deuce here, you can throw a corner guard. Usually to score multiples, you need rocks in play, and you need something to hide behind. Can't rely on your opponent's misses. And certainly Hamilton College has made their share of makes during this game. So Jacob Kahane now with his first. Drawing to the wings, but a corner guard here wouldn't be a bad result. And that's what they're going to get, and that will actually work out just fine. Hamilton College will guard their shot rock, and then it's game on. This guard's a little tight and maybe a little heavy. Going to over curl. Might as well bring this in. Not going to be guarding anything. Just didn't have enough line. And now Syracuse will go around their corner guard to try to set up a deuce. So Syracuse would love to get a stone buried back in here where Hamilton can get at it, and we'll clear out this stone in the middle later in the game. Had pretty good weight on the attempt, but it just over curled, but it's going to achieve the same result kind of backwards. They'll raise their corner guard into the rings, and now they're sitting second shot buried, which is not a bad result at all. And another guard attempt over curled, so now a chance for Syracuse to get cooking. Shot rock is wide open. Got a couple options here. You could hit and roll under. It's a little tight to hit and roll under. Or you can hit and roll away, put some pressure on Hamilton College. Simon Wexler with a hit attempt here, and again, he's just a little wide. Not sure this is going to curl back enough. If it does, it may just tuck blue under. And that's what it does. So an unfortunate miss. Wide was not where you wanted to be with that. The Hamilton Blue Stone is exposed, but it's very hard to get at. There's so much curl going inside out. I'm just not sure that you can get it this way without throwing an absolute bullet to take the curl out. So Hamilton College is just going to draw around the centers. Try to sit 1 and 2. And this shot's really heavy. And a little inside, starting to curl. Weight came off of that shot quickly. It looked like it was going to go through when it was let go. Syracuse now going to peel off that high corner guard now so they can get it shot rock. If they can peel this without running their own guard off, now they got the better turn. They were calling the wrong turn for the peel. You want to drive this stone this way, not into your guard. The only thing you got to watch out for here is when you peel it this direction, you're going to move some other blue stones close to the rings. This is over curling. They're going to chip it onto their corner guard, and didn't really do much. Pretty much replaced the blue corner guard. You chip the blue stone right into the yellow corner guard and pretty much put it back in place. And so now a chance for Hamilton to just draw around again. Sit 1 and 2. Hate to leave that many yellow rocks laying around though. Be very tempted to try to run off one of those yellow stones. Especially with a 4-point lead here, and that come around comes up light. Had to take wide ice to get around the guard. Be a little slower out there. Have to make that adjustment sometimes. And now looking to remove the corner guard again. This one's over curling. And they drove it through the hole and did open up shot stone. So now a chance for Syracuse. They need a miss out of Hamilton. Now this end is revolving around whether or not you can protect this shot stone in the back of the rings. And a nice double by Luke Sanders to run off those two blue stones. And now Syracuse lies 3. And that's the danger of not running off those yellow stones when you have a chance. Now Amy Glanzer will need a really good one here to prevent a big score by Syracuse. Last stone, fourth end for Amy Glanzer. This was very heavy and wide. Hoping to, it's coming back now. They're going to get 1 stone off the ring, so that'll hold Syracuse to 2 for now. Now a chance for Syracuse to set up a big score. Yeah, don't mind putting a freeze on that stone or just above it. That's a good option. If you got your draw weight, you come around and beat Hamilton to the 4-foot. Whatever you do here, you want to leave yourself a chance to score with your last rock, hopefully a multiple. First rock here in the 4th end for Paul Mokotov. Syracuse skip looking to come around the middle. And he's light again. And that's going to come up short of the rings. Hasn't really found his draw weight tonight. Now a chance for Amy Glanzer to limit the damage here. The 4-point lead, it certainly wouldn't be wrong to hit a stone here. Amy Glanzer with her last rock here in the fourth end, looking to take out one of the Syracuse stones. And this is a very heavy rock. Is it going to come back in time? Yes, it will. Remove one of the Syracuse stones from play. Now they do have a chance to score a deuce. They just need to draw paint. At least half in the 12-foot would be enough to score a much-needed deuce here to bring this game back in reach. Going to play the path they know here on the outside. They just threw a stone down this side of the sheet. And again, this stone is light. 3 sweepers on it. Just got by the guard, and that'll be enough. Good sweep by the front end to get that stone there. And that'll be a deuce for Syracuse. After 4 ends of play, Hamilton 5, Syracuse 3. Well, we're at the 4th end break for this game. Halfway home, it means it's time to thank our sponsors for the 2019 UCC College Bonspiel. Our sponsors are Dunkin' Donuts of Hamilton, New York, Hamilton Whole Foods, Price Chopper of Hamilton, New York, and Hannaford Markets in Clinton, New York, and New Hartford, New York. These generous sponsors have helped us make this event possible. Utica Curling Club appreciates their support, and we hope you do too. We're about to start the 5th end of play here. Hamilton leads Syracuse 5-3. And they will have the hammer this end. And the blue stones. We'll take a quick zip around the sheets here. On sheet 1, Cornell's taking a 2-1 lead over Villanova 2 after 3. SUNY Poly 1 has a commanding lead. They are now up 13-0 after 4 ends. Over on sheet 4, MIT 1 has grabbed 3. They now lead. Well, they keep changing the score on me here. Let's make it 2-2 after 3. That's Villanova 1 and MIT 2. And that's over on sheet 4. On sheet 5, RIT has grabbed a big 3 spot. They take a 4-1 lead after 3 ends of play. And over on sheet 6, Penn has taken a deuce in the 3rd end, and they have taken a 3-1 lead over Harvard 1. That should get you up to date around the sheets. Back in our feature game, Hamilton College is in control, up 2 with hammer here in the 5th end. couple of guards up front for Syracuse, and his come around attempt is over curl and tap one of the guards. Actually tapped it into the rings, just barely. Syracuse looking to throw another guard. Hamilton's calling for a come around here, but seems like the easiest thing to do would be to remove that yellow stone from play. That's a dangerous stone. It can be raised. And they are clinging to a 2-point lead. No sense in leaving those yellow stones in play. And the come around attempt very short. Not quite sure why they didn't call the hit there. Ryan's been very good at throwing those. Should be trying to tap this one up. That rock is not likely to score as a biter on the 12-foot. You want to tap that rock a little closer to the center of the rings, I think. Syracuse actually has a pretty good setup to steal here with 4 guards in play. They just need to get a stone into a good scoring position. It generally means putting it on the 4-foot circle. Now with a ton of guards in play, Hamilton really should be opening up here. Gets rid of the center guard, and that's not a bad deal. Still a lot of guards in play up front, though, so a good chance for Syracuse to try to get one in. They've got a couple raised taps. They can tap the blue rock in the center end. Got a lot of good options here. They can tap those rocks in. They can tap these rocks in. This angle's a little bit worse than the other one. Tap the blue. I think the yellow goes straight back behind cover. We've got 2 guards on this rock biting the top 12, but it's not a very hard rock to outdraw. With all these guards in play now, Amy's just going to come around everything. Jay Carhart being asked to come around the outside on the outturn side. This looks really heavy. It's going to wreck on the guard. If they'd swept that, they might have got it around and hung around back 12. Did spin it off the corner guard and into the rings, and it is shot stone. So Hamilton catches a break with the wick and a whack off the center guard and the corner guard. Now Luke Sanders for Syracuse will look to come around to the 4-foot. The line looks really good here. Question is the weight. And it's coming down nicely. And that's going to be almost top 4. It'd be top 8 shot stone. Completely buried now. You can outdraw this stone. You can go around the whole ball of wax and go to the side of the 4-foot. And no reason you can't draw back here. That'll be nicely buried behind the high guard. And that draw attempt comes up short, so now a chance for Syracuse to stuff another one in. Multiple steal now is a real possibility. And if Syracuse can position this stone properly. Just want to get in behind that blue stone. Top 8, top 4. Top 8 would probably be ideal. Again, not a lot of extra weight here. They did get it by. Now they just want to get it to the top 8. And even better, they got it buried top, almost T-line on the button. Now to get out of this end, I think Hamilton needs to freeze right down on shot rock, take their medicine, give up 1. Right now they're staring at a steal of 2. Amy Glanzer's going to have to try to follow them down, cut them down. Probably not going to get shot rock. You don't have enough weight to move this stone back, but at least you get on top of it. You'll count this one out, and that's only a score of 1. Right now, Syracuse is sitting 1 and 2, buried. And they're threatening to tie this game here in the 5th end. This is a case of taking your medicine. Syracuse has made a couple nice shots, and you're just going to have to try to count 1 out. Give up 1 here and stay in control in the 6th end. And Syracuse had another chance to stuff another one in. They didn't quite sweep that enough. I think if they kept the brooms on that, they might have gotten a third counter in. As it is, they sit 2 fully buried. And the draw freeze to the stone in the button area is simply not there anymore. So now Amy Glanz will have to throw the wide in turn on fresh ice. This will be a little unknown for weight. And hope she can grab a piece of the forefoot or get close to it. Need to get close enough to count out one of the 2 Syracuse counters. They're counting 1 and 2. It's a lot of weight, but they're out quite wide, so I don't know if this is going to die as it gets close. The line looks really great, but it's just going to slide to the back of the rings, and too heavy even for that wide line. So that'll be a steal of 2 for Syracuse, and they tie up the game after 5 ends of play. Hamilton will have the hammer here in the 6th end in a tie game, playing the Blue Rocks. We'll take a quick trip around the sheets. We're in a 2-2 tie after 4 ends. Villanova 2 against Cornell on sheet 1. SUNY Poly is now up 15-0 after 5 ends of play. That game will probably end soon. They're leading RPI 2. Over on sheet 4, MIT 2 has taken a 3-2 lead over Villanova 1. They have a tight one going there. On sheet 5, RIT 1 is still clinging to a 4-3 lead after 4 ends of play over Colgate 2. And on sheet 6, Penn has broken the game open with a 5-ender. They lead now 8-1 over Harvard 1 after 4 ends, with a commanding lead. Back to our feature game, we've got a good one. We are all tied up at 5 after 5 ends of play. And Hamilton College and Skip Amy Glanzer will have the last rock this end and hope to set up a multiple score to take control back of the game here after losing control early. Had a 4-point lead and it's evaporated. Still a good spot though for Hamilton. They are tied with Hammer. Nicely placed corner guard for Hamilton. And Syracuse will now try to play around the middle. Just squeaked by the guard. This is going to come out the backside. That's wide open. Need to be a little careful with this shot. You can't take out the guards yet. And we haven't thrown 5 rocks yet this end. So lead Molly Healy being asked to tap back this yellow stone. And really nicely thrown, and that's going to tap it out of play. Nice shot by Molly Healy. Now that they're tied, Syracuse doesn't have to take a lot of chances this end to steal. They can play it a little closer to the vest. So now Simon Wexler being asked just to return the favor on the hit, but that's way narrow. Yeah, now this gives Hamilton a chance to come around one of the guards. Looks like they're looking just to guard their shot stone for the time being. Might not be enough ice for this shot. It's only about 2 feet of curl. This rock should curl about 4 feet in this spot. And it's already over curled. Hamilton went for a very difficult shot there. The stone you want to get rid of is that one. Now it's a rock that's killing you. So that center guard is blocking your access to score. One of the cardinal rules of playing curling strategy is that you need to keep that middle open when you have the last rock advantage so you're able to score or outdraw your opponent's stones. Now Syracuse are trying to run off the shot stone on the top 12, and they sit 1. And no easy path in now for Hamilton. They need to open up a space. Need to peel one of these center guards. Need to get rid of one of those. You'd like to score here in the 6th end so that you have the hammer in the 8th end. So you want to make sure you can get your 1. And this overcurled quite a bit. It's going to chip the shot stone, and it just moves it underneath. Now things have gone a little bit from bad to worse for Hamilton. Now Syracuse's shot stone behind 2 center guards with another guard coming. Actually, you could even put one right on top of shot stone. Sit 2. Really ramp up the pressure. It's a little light. That'll just be another guard, but will compound the difficulties for Hamilton. They still don't have a good draw path. Again, I think they still need to remove that center guard. Open up a scoring area. Trying to chase off shot rock here, but that's a pretty tough shot. Got to throw a lightweight come around. And that's just too much weight, not enough bend. Now with a good guard, Hamilton will have a hard time scoring. There's almost no draw path now to the forefoot. Syracuse can plug this hole. It'll be difficult for Hamilton to get a rock in to scoring position. And again, this is over curling. There is room on the out-turn draw. But you have to come close by the guard. Now they're looking at peeling the center guard, but that would have been a good shot about 3 shots ago. Hamilton's looking at either having to throw this out-turn draw, try to get buried, not easy. Come around this thing, which don't know much about the weight way out there, or trying to raise this stone in on the angle. And that's pretty much what they're looking at. Not sure which of those options they're calling with this broom. Could be the raise. Certainly got the weight for the raise. Looks a little tight. And this is going to wreck on the yellow. May push another yellow stone into play for Syracuse. Hopefully it's a little light, and it is. And it's just going to noodle the stone a little bit. Didn't change anything. And Syracuse could be aggressive here and raise this stone on the center line. The only thing you don't want to do is open this up for Hamilton, give them a shot at the 4-foot. You want to raise this straight back. Right now, the Syracuse Rocks are positioned pretty well. Path to score for Hamilton's a little difficult. And it's just light. But there's definitely no in-turn draw path. This left-hand side of the sheet is pretty much cut off for Hamilton. They either have to go way wide or tap up, long tap, not easy, or play this out-turn draw, which I think that's probably the easiest of their three options. I think there's enough room to come through this port as long as you come by that blue stone fairly wide, fairly close. Should be able to score. They're going to play the tap up. Usual thought is if you have a way, if you want to get to a certain spot on the ice, it's usually easier to draw there than to tap there. To tap, you've got to get both the weight and the angle right. With the draw, normally you just got to get the weight right. Last stone, 6th end for Amy Glanzer for Hamilton, looking to tap up for shot stone, and this is over curling again. And it's not going to have enough weight. And if they're not careful, they'll tap another Syracuse stone in. Came really close to doing that. And it's going to be a steal of 1 for Syracuse, and they are in the lead now after 6 ends. That puts Syracuse in control of the game now. He'll likely have Hammer coming home in 8. So scoring in the 6th end to take a lead is usually a big advantage. And Syracuse has managed that. Coming back from a 4-point deficit. And they've stolen 3 ends in a row. 4th, 5th, and 6th. We'll take you around the sheets and update you on all the scores. Villanova 2 leads Cornell 4-2 after 5. They stole 2 in the 5th end. I'll bring your ends up to date. There we go. It's official. SUNY Poly 1 defeated RPI 2. Final score 15-0. Over on sheet 4, we are all tied up again 3-3. Villanova 1 getting a single in the 5th, even up their game with MIT 2. Over on sheet 5, RIT 1 has stolen 2 more, or take it back, they have scored 2 with the Hammer in 5, and they have taken a 6-3 lead over Colgate 2. And over on sheet 6, Penn stolen another one. They lead 9-1 over Harvard 1 after 5 ends of play. So you're up to date around the sheets here in draw 1 of this 2019 UCC College Bonspiel. At the conclusion of this round, all the players on each team will throw a draw shot challenge. Throw a stone as close as they can to the pin. This will be their tiebreakers for determining their pairings and the rest of their preliminary games, and also for seeding them into the playoffs. So very important for both teams to do well in that draw shot challenge. 4 shots for each team, 1 for each player. Back in our featured game, Syracuse now leads 6-5. Hamilton College having Blue Rocks. It does have the hammer again here in the 7th end. They need to go hard for a deuce here this end to wrest control back of this game. Syracuse already has 2 guards in play up front, force the action. Good come around attempt there by Simon Wexler. Almost got it buried, just needed a little bit more weight. Now Ryan Wall will try to get rid of that stone. Again, pitch that one out just a little bit. Trying to sweep this by so they don't poke it underneath. Heads up play by Amy Glanzer to sweep that rock by, not to tick the yellow stone under cover. Make Syracuse do that on their own. Stone just swept over the rings. Over the hog line, I should say. Didn't curl enough to guard shot rock, so now a chance for Ryan Wall to get on the broom here and remove shot stone from play. Can get a little roll underneath too. He has the right line. This is not quite as wide. This looks like much better line. Took a little weight off, so this is curling hard. Can they get it by? And they're just going to rack on the guard. So Syracuse continues to sit shot stone.
Maybe a little light. Wait.
Place to go here is top 4. Hide behind those 2 stones. Again, that stone on the top 12 is not likely to score if Hamilton peels out the guards. Simply too easy to outdraw. Syracuse is just going to guard that shot rock in the top 12. And this one's not going to make it over. I'll have to feed the pig on that one. That's a hog stone. So now one more chance to run shot stones away. Now it's Jay Carhart's turn to take care of things. Going to catch it a little thin. Rolled out of play. Removed shot stone, but didn't hang around. So now a chance for Syracuse to come around those staggered center guards and get to the 4-foot. Luke Sanders. And this one started curling right away. And it's going to coast to the back forward. No, it's going to stop around T-line. No, it will go to the back button or so. Good rock. Came partly out the back side. Jay Carhart just trying to follow that stone down. Line's really good. Where's the weight? And it's just going to slide a little too far, just a shade heavy. So now a chance for Paul Mokotov to stick one in the top 8, cut off that draw path. Tough to remove the yellow stone from this side as it jams against the blue. Just thrown by Hamilton. So if Syracuse can stick one in the top 8, top 4, they'll be in a great position to steal another end. On sheet 1, Villanova 2 has cracked a 3-ender. They now lead 7-2 after 6 to take control of their game over Cornell. Tough draw now for Amy Glanzer. They've got to play the out-turn come-around. Looking to get just inside that yellow stone on the center line side to get shot rock. And this is going to over curl and is light. And now there's a wall of granite up front. And once again, no easy draw path now to the forefoot. Syracuse line shot stone on the back four. And no easy path to the forefoot now. Well, Mokotov looking to simply throw a guard. Plug up the only remaining draw path. Just over the hog line would be great. Going to bounce a little bit, and that'll close off a lot of real estate. I think if Hamilton wants to score here, the only shot they really have is to raise this blue stone. There's no way they can curl enough this way to get shot stone. There's just not enough curl out there. Now they finally see it, but that'll be, you need to throw pretty good weight. That might even be too much ice for the weight they're going to need. The angles are pretty good. It's going to over curl just a hair. Just came tight out of the hack, and that'll be another steal for Syracuse. Now they take a 7-5 lead. They've stolen the last 4 ends, and now they take a 2-point lead after 7, coming home up 2. Updates for you on sheet 4. Métis taking a 4-3 lead over Villanova after 6 ends of play and a very tight one. RIT lays 8-3 after 6 over on sheet 5 over Colgate 2. And Penn's hanging on to their 9-1 lead after 5. Haven't hung the 6th end yet. They're playing the 7th. But Penn in control over Harvard 1. In our feature game, Syracuse leads Hamilton 1, 7-5. After 7, they will not have the last stone this end. Hamilton will have the Blue Rocks and last rock advantage here in the last end of play. Come around attempt is a little bit light. Now Syracuse with a chance to get around to the 4-foot first here. His come around attempt is also tight. This one will probably over curl though. And it'll come up for a corner guard. Now it's a battle to get to the top of the house behind these guards first. Lead Molly Healy being asked to come around again. This one had better weight in line. It's going to hang around and it's going to go to the back 8 and it's mostly buried. So good shot there by Molly Healy. We're behind T-line, but it's a start. And we have a final on sheet 6. Make it official. Penn is an 11-1 victor over Harvard 1. Winning their first game, they're all off to their draw shot challenge. Establish their tiebreakers for this preliminary round and playoff seeding. Now a chance for Hamilton to get his second one around now. Second Ryan Wall. And he's just a little tight to the broom here. And you probably want to get off this to avoid raising a Yellowstone into the rings. Not going to go too far, but it does cut off that draw path on that in-turn side now, and that Yellowstone can be tapped up. Hamilton wasn't quick to recognize that was never getting around. Needed to come up on the sweep on that to let it come up light. Now Syracuse is going to take control of the other side of the sheet. Play the out turn. And this would be a little light. And going to leave the out turn side available. So a break for Hamilton. Syracuse could have stuck one top 8 on that side, then it would be very difficult for Hamilton to get their deuce. So now they have a chance to run off this Yellowstone. Got to be careful not to jam it. If they get rid of the Yellowstone, they're rolling away. There's no way you can keep your shooter on the rings. Underneath the guards, you're going to have to roll away to make this go over the top. Get that to go over the top and not hit your blue stone in the back. You're going to give it a shot. That yellow stone is a dangerous stone because it can be raised. And this is just way wide. Don't need any sweeping there. And in fact, a very weak handle. Now Syracuse changing plans. They were throwing the out-turn draw before. If it was good before, it's probably still good. Now they decided to guard their shot stone, or their second shot stone, I should say. Nothing wrong with tapping this thing up. This one's also narrow. This one's on the guard already. It's bounce enough to guard shot rock. So taking it out now is no longer any question. Now you're pretty much forced into the out-turn draw. I think this is the more difficult way in. It's very tough to get around those stones in the top 8, top 12. This draw on the out-turn side is much easier to get buried, and to get buried above T-line. If Hamilton gets around this stone on the top 12, they may be behind T-line. And this is going to come up light as well. Syracuse has a good portion of the in-turn side pretty much bottled up. I mean, the draw out here is actually pretty wide now. It'll be not impossible, but harder to outdraw the Syracuse stone. Syracuse can position a good stone right on the 4-foot on this out-turn side.
Moving pretty quickly. Line's fine. It's for weight only.
And this looks like a nice stone if they get off. And that coasts right into the top 4. Now Syracuse hitting 2. Or sitting 1, I should say. Sitting shot stone. Hamilton is sitting second rock. Hamilton needs to try to follow that down and tap it back a smidge. Should be enough room. Luke Sanders made a couple of big draws in this game to set up some critical steals. That last was a great one. This is looking like a good one too. Just a shade light. So Syracuse continues to be shot stone. Hamilton needs to get 2 here to prolong this game into an extra end. And a good guard here by Skip Paul-Mokotov should seal the deal. Just needs to follow Amy Glanzer-Stone right down to the face. And short's okay here. And the stone's coming in very nicely, and that's going to cover the draw path. And that's a very good guard. Don't see much for Hamilton here. They don't have a good path to the forefoot. They need to outdraw. The yellow stone thrown by Luke Sanders sitting on the side of the forefoot. And they have to outscore it twice. Again, just a little light. I think at this point Syracuse could pass. Say throw again. Don't see much option for Hamilton at this point. Last stone of the 8th end for Syracuse's Paul Mokotov. Just throwing another guard on shot stone here just to be doubly sure. And that makes it well and surely covered. Don't see any angles for Hamilton. They got no run backs or angle raises. A lot of staggered stones up front. Last shot of the 8th end for Amy Glanzer and Hamilton. And that won't change anything, so it'll be a 7-5 victory, or make that an 8-5 victory for Syracuse. They steal the last 5 ends of the game and make it a final. We'll take a quick run around the sheets for you. Villanova 2 is in control 7-3 over Cornell after 7 ends of play. Looks like they're cruising to a win. SUNY Poly romped 15-0 over RPI2 for their first victory. On our feature sheet, Syracuse is an 8-5 winner in a tight game early, but came back late to win that game. Over on sheet 4, MIT2 leads 6-3 over Villanova. They're playing the 8th end now. RIT1 make it a final 10-3 over Colgate 2 over on sheet 5. And Penn is an 11-1 winner over Harvard 1. Hope you enjoyed the webcast. We'll be back on the air tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. for Draw 2. This will be mostly teams in Pool B of this event, so the other 12 teams head off tomorrow morning. And we look forward to seeing you then. Hope you'll join us for some of the action here at the UCC College Bonspiel. So long, everybody.